and welcome to the 1000 subscriber special. What we're going to be doing in this is we're going to be taking a look at my film collection that spans mostly here, but also just throughout the house in general. You're not really going to see much of me in this, but you're going to hear me. I'll sort of walk you through what I own, picking out a few things of interest and chatting about them. And then there will also be a music and games based video as well about the music that I own and the games that I own, and those will be available exclusively to Patreon, so if you're interested in those, maybe considering joining at any tier over on Patreon and you can grab those. So I'm just going to start from the top left. I guess, is it left? It probably is on the camera. We're going to start up there and just sort of work us way through, just looking at what I own and what is currently in my collection. Okay, so this is just a little pan out of the media wall and what it currently looks like from a distance. You see gaps in it, and that's because things come, things go from this collection. I'm not one to just keep hold of everything. You know, curate as opposed to accumulate, I think, is generally my stance on things. But I thought I'd just show you what it looks like from a bit of a distance. You can't actually see all of it. What I'll do is I'll try and pan down now, so you can see it does go all the way down to the ground, to there. There's usually a sofa over this side here, which I've moved out for this video, just so we can really see everything. But yeah, let's get in there and take a look at some stuff then, shall we? Okay, so we're going to start up in this top corner. The top of this unit is pretty much entirely made up of box sets, collector's editions and things like that. Just nice big display at the top. So starting in this back corner we have two Arrow Academy, Valerian Boracek and Shohei Imamura, both decent box sets. Then moving into the Arrow stuff, got the Lucas Moodysson, big fan of Moodysson, Fucking Amal, one of my favourite films, Battle Royale 4K, some J-horror there, Ring Ju-on, we have the Vengeance trilogy, Hellraiser, that's the 4K of Demons 1 and 2. Probably going to be talking more about these, because, well, the special editions is usually a reason I own the special editions of things. It's because I really like the film. Videodrome, one of my favourite Cronenbergs. Naked Lunch, my favourite Cronenberg film. Then we've got Enter the Void, really good Gaspar Noé film. The Lighthouse, fantastic. Phantasm's fine. Hills Have Eyes, that's the 4K of that. Then we've got Fear and Loathing, Female Prisoner Scorpion. Yeah, this is the extent of my Arrow box sets. Gamera there. The Dune 4K, big David Lynch fan. And I don't mind the original Dune, I think it's fine. Then we have the Yokai. Then we're on to the Second Sight box sets here. Colour of Pomegranates, that's the 4K, A Bittersweet Life. Lake Mungo, for an amazing found footage horror type film. Blair Witch Project, one of my favourite horror films. Then we've got Severin. It's the only Severin I own, actually, this one. Santa Sangre by Jodorowsky. Probably going to see a bit of Jodorowsky as we go through the collection. And then we have the Guts trilogy that 88 Films put out. I got that one recently. It's fine. It's fine, really. Nothing amazing, but it was fun. And we've got the huge Lars von Trier box set and the huge Bela Tarr box set, both from Artificial Eye. Big fan of both these directors, and it's just nice to have all their films in one place, even if Dancer in the Dark is missing from this one. But it looks like they are rectifying that. It's just a shame it didn't come with the set. Bong Joon-ho, Chaplin, big fan of these guys. Now we're on to the BFI stuff. Werner Herzog, huge Werner Herzog fan. Some of my favourite films are inside this box set. But Morrison's an interesting one. He's quite experimental. I've got this one recently. Some of them are worth watching, some of them not so much, but it's an interesting set nonetheless. Now the Jarman set, this is Volume 2. If anyone can find me Volume 1 for a reasonable price, please do, because it is silly prices at the moment. Yeah, then we've got Hirakuza Karida, my god, sorry. Then we're on to the 1101 box set that I have, which is Silent Deadly Night 1 and 2. Then we've got some Studio Canal ones, got The Man Who Fell to Earth, huge Bowie fan. You're probably going to see quite a few Bowie films knocking about here. Some Bumwell films, a complete Tati set, I do love Jacques Tati, he's great. Then we've got 2 Universal box sets, Monsters and Child's Play. And then we've got some anime at the end there. You're probably going to see quite a bit of anime as we go along as well. Now, I like anime, I think it's fine. I'm not the biggest anime fan. My partner really likes anime. And I'm not saying, oh, they're just hers, so ignore when you see them. Because I do actually quite like a lot of the anime films that she owns, but they're mostly from her side of the collection, I guess. Evangelion, though, is both mine and hers. I'm a huge Evangelion fan. Gotta have the big box set of that. Really love it. Okay, now we've got the Arrow standard editions. There's a few special editions knocking about here, but it's just the ones that are mainly just in regular Blu Ray cases. Something you'll notice as well about this collection is that I don't alphabetize all my films. I like to have release companies together because I think it looks really nice on the shelf. I also like to keep directors as close together as possible. You'll see a few examples of that coming up. I don't know, but alphabetizing things, I think it just makes it look messy, but that's just my opinion. I try and go for like aesthetic, I guess, over anything. So, yeah, we started off with some Jörg Buttgereit, or however you pronounce his name. The Todesking and Schramm, I'm a big fan of his works. I can see why people might not be, but I like those. I've also got the Necromantics coming up at some point as well. Death Screams, now this, I covered this in the Vipco reviews and all the reels were out of place. I got this and I haven't actually watched it yet, but it is the film in order and actually watchable, so maybe one day I'll have a look at that. Climax and Lux Turner, 2 more Gaspar Noé films, big fan of him. If you haven't seen Climax, it's super intense and worth a watch. 16 Candles, bit of a funny one, but for Arrow to put out anyway, but I'm glad they did because it's a fun film despite its few flaws. What else have we got here? Exorcist 3, the best Exorcist film in my opinion. Then we've got some Takeshi Miike here, Dead or Alive, Happiness of the Katakuris, Audition, and Park Chan-wook at the end there with JSA. And then moving over here, we have The Carpenter bit with The Thing and Big Trouble in Little China. And then we've got some Cronenberg, Shivers and Crash, big fan of Cronenberg and Carpenter, so it's nice to have these. Then we've got some Argento. I am missing Cat o' Nine Tails. Just never got around to picking that one up and I've never seen it, but Bird with Crystal Plumage, Deep Red, Inferno, Tenebrae and Phenomena. All really good films, I like all these. And I've got a Fulci, Don't Torture a Duckling, really good Fulci film. Very early for him as well, I think. Donnie Darko, one of my favourite early 2000s mindfuck films. One that I watched when I was quite young, so it just sort of stands out to me. Then we've got some of the weirder ones, The Baby. Bizarre, that film. Worth watching, that one. It's weird. Maniac Cop. I know people who love this film, but it never really resonated too much with me. I like Bruce Campbell, obviously, but I don't think he's in it enough. Not for my liking, anyway. And it's got The Jaw in it as well, which he's always fun. Raising Cain. That's, what's it called? Brian De Palma. Satan's Blade is awful. I don't know why I own that. Burnt Offering's really good horror film. Texas Chainsaw 2, Deranged. Loads of Chaos, some good ones there. Moving along a little bit here. We have Necromantic 1 and 2, as I said. These are fucked up. The second one's not as good. I do really like the first one, though. It's a lot of fun. Then we've got some Asian horrors and Asian action films here. Pulse is one of my favourite. Ghost Stories and J-Horrors, fantastic film, well worth checking out. Dark Water, what else have we got here? In the Aftermath is a very bizarre film that's like part anime. It's an anime called The Angel's Egg, which is supposed to be really good. I haven't actually watched it fully. But it's been like edited in with live action footage for some reason. It's such a weird film. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but it's just a little curiosity piece. With Nail and I, hilarious, really good classic British comedy film. Incident in a Ghostland's really good, from the guy who directed Martyrs. I forget his name off the top of my head. Or is it 2 of them? I think there's 2 of them actually. Just a really interesting mindfucky film, really fun. Dinner in America, that's had a bit of a resurgence recently thanks to Red Letter Media and stuff like that, but really fun and funny film with a lot of heart to it, really good. Theatre of Blood with its stupid yellow. This is something you might notice as well about the arrows. I don't like having the certificates on the spines. I prefer it to look pretty clean. And that does mean sometimes you have to have the inferior cover, which, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, is it? It's not great. The stupid yellow, because it's quite stylish and black on the other side, but it has the big daft certificate, and I don't know, it just doesn't fit for me. And then we're finishing off the Arrow standards with an old version of Dawn of the Dead. A lot of you probably remember these with the little windows that they used to have. All of the spines have certificates on them as well, which is annoying. But I have it this way around so it matches with the Arrow stuff. And then I have the steelbook for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I think is going for quite a lot of money these days, so I might end up getting rid of it before they release a 4K and they all drop in price. Oh, if you see some of these little characters as well, my partner does needle felting, so we just sort of shove them on the shelf where we can, really. And then over here, we have the Arrow Academy films. Some really good ones in this. Primer is really good. Upstream Colour is shit, which it comes with, but Primer is a really fun film. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, a bit more Bowie. Decalogue, really good, really masterpiecey sort of stuff there. What else we got? Trip to the Moon. There's a really good documentary about film restoration on there, which I'm a big fan of. That's worth checking out. And then Cinema Paradiso 4K, do love that. And yeah, that's sort of the extent of my Arrow collection. And then just over there, if you can just see this, we're going to go a bit more handheld here, so excuse the shoddy camera work. But they're just a few 4Ks that we have floating around. American Psycho, John Wick 1, 2 and 3, don't have part 4 yet. And if you want to know what they are, you'll have to watch my music video that'll be coming out on Patreon. Moving down a step now, we are at the Criterion Collection. True Stories, really nice, really fun. David Byrne film, a big Talking Heads fan, so that was a must. Great soundtrack to it. Now we're going to start seeing some David Lynch stuff, and a little game that we can play throughout this this little shelf tour. How many copies of Eraserhead can you spot? And this also branches out into the music as well, because Eraserhead is the film that got me into filmmaking and film as something worth looking at. This is the Criterion version, and it's really nice, really fantastic. I own this film as many times as I possibly can. I've seen it countless times, and I do cite that as the reason I got into film. It's a film I absolutely love. I think I was about 12 when I watched it, and it just stuck with me, as you can probably imagine. Absolute masterpiece. But I own this a lot, so we'll be seeing it quite a bit. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Love Twin Peaks as well. I mean, just Lynch in general, Lost Highway. And these Criterion versions, this isn't the 4K Lost Highway, I know they've put that out recently, it's just the Blu Ray. But I got the Blu Ray as soon as they put that out, you see, and then the 4K. And I don't know with 4K, I'll buy them, I'll probably upgrade it at some point, but I'm not in a rush. Okay, and then what else have we got with these Criterions then? So, big fan of Burroughs, so there's a documentary on William Burroughs, really interesting guy. John Waters collection here. Pink Flamingos comes in this cool paper bag style thing. I can't believe that Criterion have put out John Waters films, honestly. Absolutely crazy. Female Trouble is a really fun film. They're such dirty weirdo films, and then having this prestigious label put them out, it just makes me laugh. Gummo, I'm a huge Harmony Korine fan as well, and I got the 4K of Gummo when it came out, because we didn't have this in the UK for a very long time. I had to import a DVD as a kid, so it's nice to actually be able to own this properly. And then we've got some teen comedies, coming of age stuff, Breakfast Club, Fast Times at Richmond High. Dazed and Confused is a fantastic film. Again, I know they've put this out in 4K recently, but this is just the standard Blu Ray. But it comes in this really nice packaging that I really like. And then, yeah, a few box sets there. Lone Wolf and Cub is amazing. You might recognise these films from Shogun Assassin, which Vipco put out back in the day. But this is the original, I think there's 6 films in there. And it's a really nice presentation, really cool. And then we move along to the next part of the Criterion. Sorry about the lighting as well, it's been difficult trying to figure out how to light this. We've got Happiness that they put out recently on 4K. This does not need a 4K release, but it does, and I love that it does. It's crazy. Got some Jim Jarmusch, some Tarkovsky. Absolutely love Tarkovsky. This version of Mirror is beautiful. It's such a cool set. Really nice. Really good films. They're all masterpieces in their own right, those. And then, yeah, we've got some silent films, Safety Last. There is another one somewhere, actually. I think it's over that way. The Cameraman, Buster Keaton. Dolce Vita is really good. And yeah, that is nearly my complete Criterion set. I do have some more, 2 more to be precise, but we'll get to those when we get to those. Okay, and now we move on to the BFI section. That sun is really there. I'm going to stand slightly crooked at the side, I think. Yeah, that looks better. So, we start with Seven Samurai, big old box set. I got that this year and sat and watched it. My partner had never seen it, so we watched that together. Really good. Takeshi Kitano Collection. This is like the first 3 films, I think. Really fun. I love Kitano. Now you're going to start seeing my real art housey side. Quay Brothers, and it is pronounced Quay, not Key. Absolutely amazing animators. Big fan of their work, and they've got a feature there as well. Big fan of the Quay Brothers, really fun. Schwankmeyer as well. I'm a huge Jan Schwankmeyer fan. I think I might do a video on Schwankmeyer soon, actually. I own all his films, all the ones that you can legally purchase anyway. I had to import some, which we'll talk about those when we get to them, though. When the Wind Blows, amazing British animated film. As you can tell, I do quite like animation, because I do make animations as well in my spare time. So you're going to see a lot of animated things. And we've got Salo and the Cameron, 2 Pasolini films. Salo it's up there for me, one of my favourites. It's a very difficult watch, but it's fantastic. Film Not Film I'd recommend as well. Samuel Beckett directed it. It's a short film, and it stars Buster Keaton. Such a weird little thing. It's only about 15 minutes long, and it's just cool. I really like it. More surrealism there. Louis Buñuel, L'Âge d'Or, don't know how you pronounce it. Kenneth Anger's Magic Lantern Cycle, some really fun short films from Kenneth Anger there, really good. And then we move on to the last bit of the BFI, where we have Man with a Movie Camera, a bit of old Russian silent film there, which is good. We have a few Bergmans. You're going to see a lot of Ingmar Bergman films cropping up. These are just a few that BFI have put out that you can't really get anywhere else. Fanny and Alexander, we grabbed this as well because it has the TV series version of it in it, which is cool. We bought this, the Juniper Tree, just because it has Bjork in it. I'm a big fan of Bjork. It's fine. It's nothing to shout about, but it's fine. And Lahane, classic, difficult film to watch, very relevant still, very good film. We've got the Premiere Collection over here. The Hunger, because Bowie's in it. You're going to hear a lot of that, because Bowie's in it. Haunting, absolutely amazing old Robert Wise horror, based on the book, Haunting of Hill House. Probably seen the TV show by Flanagan. Really good TV show as well, which I have actually on Blu Ray. And Gaslight as well, which is where the term that seems to be popular these days came from originally. Some nice fun classic films. There's a few more of those I am wanting to grab when I'm out and about. Forbidden Planet, the original Thing, is it Thing from Another World or Thing from Outer Space, something like that. There's a few. I do want to find a copy of My Own Private Idaho as well that they put out, because I'm a big fan of Gus Van Sant and River Phoenix. So now we're moving on to the 101 section. I don't have too many 101 films. Skinner, this was a gift from a friend of mine who's also called John. Thank you, John, for that. And I'm dropping everything. Brain Dead is fun Bill Pullman film. Ghost Watch is a classic British early found footage, I guess you could call it. It's almost like a prank film. It's really good. Oh, Last Broadcast as well, which is found footage. And that film shits the bed in the last 20 minutes, so I wouldn't really recommend it. And then we have some second run and some movie films over in the corner. Second run are interesting, because they put out a lot of Eastern European, and I just can't keep these upright apparently. A lot of like Eastern European films, like The Cremator, is really fucked up and really good. That's been in the top 250 horror films on Letterboxd for ages and ages. But yeah, some more curiosity pieces, those, I guess. And then Annette was a recommendation from a friend, and it's pretty weird, but not as weird as I was hoping. And Under the Silver Lake is fantastic. I am wanting more movie films. I'm wanting their version of the Suspiria remake that's floating around. I've just never got around to grabbing it. I have Queer that's been pre-ordered because it's based on a Burroughs book, the one with Daniel Craig, the one that's just coming out. That's pre-ordered. I think it should be arriving next week, to be honest. So on the third row, we are starting off with the Eureka collection. These have sort of really like come into their own, I think, as they've been going along. I remember seeing them years ago, and I had a few that I ended up getting rid of, which is a shame. I wish I'd have kept hold of them, because some of these earlier ones have shot up in price. But yeah, we've got a lot of classics here. Savage Planet, just a really classic French animated film. Really fun, really weird. Metropolis, Harakiri. Dr. Mabuse films, which I did do a video on. I used to do a series called Long Run Time that's sort of been dormant for a while. And you can probably see this was meant to be one of the episodes that I did. I've not actually watched this yet because it's a 12-hour long documentary on the Holocaust, and I haven't really felt like being miserable. So one day I'll get to it, though, one day. But yeah, a lot of I do love silent films, like Nosferatu, and Faust. You're going to see a few of those as we go through this. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is the 4K. Big daft box set, really cool thing. Buster Keaton shorts as well. I have all his features knocking about as well. But then there's also things like Kes, which is an amazing British film. I'm guessing most of you watching this will have seen that. If not, definitely watch Kes, it's amazing. And I'm from Sheffield, and that was shot in Barnsley, and they do mention Sheffield ever so briefly, so of course I'm a fan of it, of course I am. And then we move along to the second bit of Eureka, and here we have Cure, which is one of the best Japanese horror films ever made. It's almost like a crime film for a while, and then it gets really fucking weird. Speaking of fucking weird, we've got House, or Hausu as people like to say. And this is just an absolutely off-the-wall, crazy Japanese horror comedy thing. It's bizarre. Plenty of Buster Keaton knocking about. Another one of the Dr. Mabuse films. That one's not as good. It's a more modern one with sound, and I don't know, sort of ruins the vibe for me a little bit. Son of White Mare is a bizarre animated thing from... Now you're asking, is it like Hungarian or something? I can't remember. I'm sure you'll correct me in the comments. But yeah, that's bizarre. And then we've got these ones that aren't part of the Masters of Cinema collection, these four. But they are still Eureka. Lucky, got Harry Dean Stanton and David Lynch in it. Really, really, really heartbreaking and just an amazing film. Well worth checking out. Really good. And then, to counterbalance that, I've got Troll 1 and 2 and the documentary Best Worst Movie. Really nice set, that, actually. Just compiling it all. And it was the first time I ever watched Troll 1 when I got that set, because I'd seen Troll 2 a lot, but never Troll 1. And Troll 1's not too bad, actually. It has just gotten really dark. We're now moving on to Third Window, which is... They are affiliated with Arrow in some form. I don't know if it's like a sister company, but you can buy Third Window off the Arrow website. And they specialise in Japanese films, for if you don't know. And I'm a big fan of Japanese films. So we've got some Tsukamoto here. There's a few Tsukamotos that I need to get that they've put out, actually. But these are the ones that I have currently. And then we've got this section here is all Takeshi Kitano films. Big fan of Kitano, and it's just nice having this many films of his released on Blu Ray, because a lot of these were just on crappy DVDs and stuff for a long time. And then we have Funky Forest. If you've ever seen Funky Forest, it is like 3 hours long and absolutely fucking crazy. You'll probably seen clips of it on YouTube because it kind of got a bit famous. It went a bit viral for just being really weird. One Cut of the Dead. I haven't actually watched the Hollywood edition of this yet. I've only seen the... I think the Hollywood version just has the second one in, maybe? I can't remember. But I've only seen the base film, and it's really good. It's really good. And Violent Voyager and Burning Buddha Man is so weird. It's like Captain Pugwash sort of paper cut out. Not necessarily animation, they just videoed people wiggling paper about. It's so bizarre. It's well worth checking out. 2 films on that as well, and yeah, they're both really fun. And then we move on to something that I'm sure a lot of you who are fans of my channel will be familiar with, the 101 and AGFA collection. So I know we looked at 101 earlier and I said, well, I don't have too many 101s. Well, I do, but they're all the bloody AGFA ones, aren't they? So we've currently done up to Wicked World, review-wise, so we have this many left to get through before we've finished. And they'll be coming back after I've finished doing the hard gore. But yeah, that's where they are on the shelf if you were curious about that. And more that you'll be familiar with as we move along here. We have the Shameless Blu Ray collection. So this is what it looks like in its current state up to Oasis of Fear. And as you can see, yeah, there's some spine numbers missing. And I've talked about that in the Shameless reviews, but it does do my head in. It's really annoying. But yeah, that's where the Shameless films live. So now we have the second sight standard edition part of the collection. Extra is probably the last of the bigger sets for second sight that I've got. And then we've got things like Les Enfants du Paradis, Censor, Inside, that's a really good French extreme film for if you like things like Martyrs, things like that. Basket Case collection, Possession, that's shot up in price, and that one. And also I've just shown tits on YouTube, probably going to have to blur that. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then next to those we have the Curzon Artificial Eye Blu Ray section. What have we got here that's worth talking about? Funny Games by Michael Haneke. I'm hoping that they put out a big Haneke box set soon, like they've done with the Lars von Trier and Bellatar films. Just because it'd be nice to have all his films in one place, because I think I've got pretty much everything that he's done, but it's all split about and it's annoying. Manglehorn is a really weird art house film with Al Pacino in it, and Harmony Korine pops up for a little bit in there. Killing of a Sacred Deer, Lanthimos has become sort of popular recently, hasn't it? Killing of a Sacred Deer is probably my favourite of his. Man Escaped, and then more Gaspar Noé Love. This film is awful, and this is the 3D version, and it does have a 3D penis in it. So if you do want to see a 3D penis, that's probably the way to watch it, although it is a 3-hour long film and it's boring as shit. Probably his worst film in my opinion. So moving on, we now have the Radiance collection. Let me just do that. There we go. And I don't have many Radiance films, honestly. Only just started buying them. And both these were gifts, actually. Ooh, nearly. Nearly. So we've got the Dai Gothic set. Just some Japanese ghost stories, and Haxon, which I've put on display because it's a really cool set. Yeah, those are the only 2 Radiance films that I own at the moment. I'm planning on getting more though, they've got a few out that I'm interested in. And now we have the Indicator collection, again not too many. Christine, Night of the Demon, Taste of Fear. Invincible's a Werner Herzog film that is just... It's good enough that I've kept it, but it's not great, if you know what I mean. It's on the cusp. And Irreversible, we've already said I'm a huge Gaspar Noé fan. This is my favourite Gaspar Noé film, and this huge Irreversible set is beautiful. It has the film, so the film is shot, it is sort of edited in reverse order, sort of like Memento. And there's a version in this where it's put in the right order. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it kind of ruins the film, honestly. So I don't know, maybe I won't watch it. Moving over here, Block the Light, we have the 88 Films collection. What is worth talking about here, really? I've got a lot of trash from them, such as Street Trash and Body Melt. Very disappointing films that sort of blow the load in the first 10 minutes. Tourist Trap, though, is an excellent film. It's full moon, and it's just like weird mannequins that sort of sing at people. It's good. Castle Freak's also good, and I have the Riccio 88. I know that Arrow have put that out, but I have the 88 version. And The Suckling, which is a really crazy film. And then these are the 3 that I have from the Slasher collection. I only have 3, which is strange, isn't it? Intruder, which we've covered on the channel already in the Hardcore collection. This was a gift as well from a friend of mine called John. And then I've got Alice Sweet Alice, which is a great slasher, and Maniac, which, yeah, is pretty good. And then I have the 2 these two cult films, which are Shameless's sister company, Cult Films. There's a few that I want from them, but I just have the two Argento ones, Opera and Suspiria. And yeah, that's the 88 and Cult Films. Now I'm moving on to the anime section, and as I said, these are mostly my partners. Let me just adjust the light in here, because that's crazy bright. So let's see what we got here then. Serial Experiment Lane is like a classic angsty series from the early 2000s, which is fun. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is miserable as shit. We thought it was going to be funny because of the name, but nope, it's actually really sad. This is the only Ghibli film we own, Tale of Princess Kaguya. Really beautifully animated though, really nice stuff. Evangelion 1.11, this is the only one I own from the Rebuild series. I have seen all four of them, but I only own the first one for some reason. I'm hoping they bring a box set out, I think. Akira, obviously, classic anime. Got this nice big deluxe version, which is nice. And then moving over to here, it's a company called All the Anime, or Anime Limited, depending on where you look. And these are just sort of the boutique label for anime collectors, I guess. Silent Voice is a brilliant film. Junkhead is a stop motion from Japan that is underappreciated and well worth a look. It's a lot of fun. And then we've got some crazy stuff like Tatami Galaxy, which is a series and is very hard to follow. Got all sorts. 90s Short, Walk On Girl is just really fun, crazy animation in that. Belladonna of Sadness is an old French anime that is super artsy and really pervy and fun. Perfect Blue is fucked up. It has been cited as sort of like the influence for Black Swan, and you can see it. And my partner's favourite series is Knowing, which, yeah, it is really good actually. I watched it with her, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, this is the horror section, the start of just the generic horror section, where I've stopped sort of caring about the release company, I guess. So we've got I Spit on Your Grave box set, which is a nice way of owning all those films for cheap. Got the first 4 Alien films in the Alien Anthology. And then we can move this tripod along here. Look at that, look. And I've also sorted out the lighting ever so slightly too. And I know it's a bit on the wonk, but oh well. Yeah, these are just some of the horror films that I have. The first Exorcist, Hereditary, you know, a steelbook of it. I don't really like steelbooks, but I wanted a copy of it, and that was the one they had in CEX. The Evil Within is crazy. Malignant is also crazy, actually. It's one of those sort of like mainstream films that just happens to be absolutely like off the wall. It's great. Greasy Strangler, one of my favourites. This is like a staple for movie nights. I've shown a lot of people this film. It's very fun. Possum as well is excellent. I had a chance to see this at Celluloid Screams before it got fully released. Celluloid Screams is like a horror festival in Sheffield, for those who don't know. And then yeah, I've had to keep my original Blair Witch Project copy just to keep the remake, even though it's not great. But I did get to see the remake. I used to work at the View at Meadowhall, and I was lucky enough to get a staff screening all to myself for it, and it was a really good experience. Just watching a film on your own. Really fun. I have just noticed an issue that will be fixed soon, but I have Evil Dead... Not Evil Dead, sorry. I have Evil Dead there, but I have Silent Hill Revelations 3D, which is its sequel. I do have the first Silent Hill as well, but for some reason it's on the next bit. What else do we have here? Then we have the Paranormal Activity set, and yeah, that's just some of the horror films I've kept a hold of. And moving this along slightly, I have the Scream box set 1 to 4. I will get the new ones. Sorry, I'm just moving furniture out of the way so I can get in here. I will get the new ones at some point, and I know there's a new Final Destination out as well, which I'm going to probably hopefully go see soon. But yeah, big Final Destination fan as well. The Screams are really fun. Then yeah, just your standard stuff. Red State by Kevin Smith. Killer Joe is a really fun Matthew McConaughey film. The Maniac remake. Skinamarink. I really like Skinamarink, but I don't like it at the same time, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. It's an interesting one. There's the original Silent Hill. I'll have to change that around. I don't know how that happened. Weird. Yeah, Happy Death Day, Krampus, and then some Texas Chainsaw Blu-rays. And then this company's sort of been coming about a little bit. It is Lightbox. And from them I have Broadcast Signal, Intrusion, and We're All Going to the World's Fair. We're All Going to the World's Fair is the first film, I think, from the woman who did So the TV Glow. And yeah, they're interesting films. It might be a company that I actually look into more because they seem quite interesting. And then finishing off the horror with just a little bit here. You can see my shadow. We have... Let me focus that. Yeah, we have Martyrs, which I've mentioned a few times. Just a really good, fucked up French extreme film. I'm standing, so you're going to see my shadow moving, just so I can get through. And then we've got some Japanese horrors and Korean horrors here. I saw The Devil's really good. Tokyo Gore Police is pretty violent. It has gore in the title, and it lives up to it. And Shin Godzilla, just a really good modern Godzilla. Godzilla -1 was really good as well, but I don't own that yet. Now we're moving over to the exciting bit, the David Lynch section. That's right. David Lynch gets his own little shelf, because in my opinion he is the best director that ever lived. Another copy of Eraserhead. So that's 2 so far, I think. Got the 4K of Elephant Man, Blue Velvet Wild at Heart. Imported version of Straight Story from Imprint. The only time I've ever imported from Imprint, but really nice edition. Cause Straight Story is one of those that's sort of locked behind the Channel 4 thing, and they just don't release stuff. It's really annoying. Mulholland Drive 4K. Now I do have 2 copies of Inland Empire, and I'm going to have a little rant. So this new version. So let's start at the beginning, I guess. Inland Empire is shot on digital in 720p. That is just the camera that Lynch used for it. So this new version is an upscaled, AI upscaled 4K version that's then been compressed onto a Blu Ray to 1080p. So it's a 720p film up to 4K and then lowered to 1080, and it looks like shit. So I kept my original version, which is in 720p, and that's the version I'll probably be preferring. But this does have More Things That Happened, I think it's called, the short film that he made, which is just a feature film as well. So it's worth getting just for that. And then this, which I bought in sale recently, is a bag of shit. It is people trying to link Lynch to The Wizard of Oz, and it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. We have Nightmare on Elm Street onto 7 and a big Woody Allen box set. Funnily enough, I downgraded. I had the Arrow Academy box sets for the Woody Allen films, all 3 of them, and I sold them in order to help fund my film It's All Wrong. And yeah, and then I got this for like £5 or something, and I got like over £100 for the 3 box sets. And I recently got this, big Boards of Canada fan, and this is the Dave and Cowboy video promotional DVD. So that's just sort of sitting there on display because I've just recently got it, and sometimes it's nice to display things that you just recently get. This is basically just the kids' films and animated section that I have. Again, a lot of these are my partners. Ones that are worth talking about though are probably the Irish Folklore Trilogy, which is Cartoon Saloons, 3 films, Song of the Sea, Wolf Walkers, they're really nice. Iron Giant, do love Iron Giant, Roger Rabbit, love those films. And this is really worth talking about, The Wolf House, or the Casa Lobo, which is Chilean, I believe, and it's one of the weirdest stop motion films I think I've ever seen, but it's beautifully made and so impressive. Big fan of this, well worth checking out if you can find a copy. So this is the Blu Ray TV shows section, so Twin Peaks 1 and 2 and the movie, and Twin Peaks Season 3, these are both the special edition versions of these shows. I am obsessed with Twin Peaks, I love Twin Peaks and everything about it, and yeah, these are just really cool. I've just like sprung for the really cool box sets, but I think I might also buy just like a crappy version of them, just a standard version, just as like a watching version, because they are a bit funny to get the discs out of every now and then, which is annoying. We've got The Kingdom, Lars von Trier series, which he kind of did a Twin Peaks, where he did 2 series in the 90s, and then it got cancelled, and then he redid it in the 2010s, or 2020s I think it was for the Kingdom. But it's all really good, and I really like Lars von Trier's work, so yeah, it's pretty good. Then you got Ash vs Evil Dead series, Chucky series, Pride and Prejudice, and then the two Haunting of series from Mike Flanagan. Walt Flanagan's Kevin Smith's mate, isn't it? I do that all the time. Mike Flanagan. Yeah, really good shows. And this is a DVD actually of Now and Then, Here and There, which is another anime, and I don't really know why this is here, but I don't really know where else to keep it because it's such an odd shape. And then moving along this side, we have, these are just sort of films now. We're just into sort of popular, sorry, knocking the camera, popular sorts of films from big name directors. You know, you've got, these are the only Tarantino films I own, weirdly. I do want to get more. I keep seeing them and not buying them for some reason. I want to do like a big Tarantino watch through of all his films again, because it's been ages since I've seen them. But for some reason, this is just all I have. Then Bad Lieutenant, this is the remake by Werner Herzog, a remake of the original Harvey Keitel and the guy who did Driller Killer, forget his bloody name. Yeah, it's a fun little remake. Back to the Future for Crispin Glover. Big Crispin Glover fan. You're going to see a whole section of his coming up soon. Taxi Driver, Stand By Me. You know, Lost in Translation is one of my favourite films. Sofia Coppola with Bill Murray. That is completely out of focus. But oh well. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have seen it. Yeah, these are the two Coen Brother films that I own. Whiplash and La La Land. Yeah, just sort of your standard films that you'd expect to see on anyone's shelf, really, these lot. I only watched this recently, the Apocalypse Now director's cut, not the director's cut, sorry, the theatrical cut, and Hearts of Darkness documentary, really good. Die Hard 1 to 4, James Dean collection, and then these are just sort of like some classics, like Fiddler on the Roof, Interview with a Vampire, Dr. Zhivago, One Flew the Cuckoo's Nest, got Escape from New York in here for some reason, and then some sci-fi, Ex Machina, Prometheus, Day the Earth Stood Still. Just sort of your standard fare. And then we're moving on to this bit here, where we have some martial arts films. This we bought twice, me and my partner, and we didn't like it the first time, but we bought it again for some reason. I think we just didn't know what it was. Spring Breakers, probably Harmony Korine's breakout film, I'd say. Probably the thing that put him on the map in people's minds a little bit. Call Me By Your Name and Bones and All. I forget the director's name, but I really like both those films. They're fantastic. You got River's Edge with Crispin Glover in it. Hesher, this is an interesting one. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a little like Visitor Q if you've seen it, where it's just like a metalhead stoner just moves in with a family and fucks the life up, but he's doing it to make them a better people. It's interesting. Another Gaspar Noé, Vortex. This one's really miserable. It's about dementia. Really sad. Then we've got some Korean films. Broker, really good film. Yakuza Koreeda again. And then we've got two of these, which I hate these box sets. I used to have the Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive in these sets. And you find that a lot of them, this little bit in the middle, the glue loses its stick and the disc just drops and there's nothing for it to drop into. But two amazing films here. We've got Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard and Last Year's at Marienbad, Alan Resnais, I guess it is. And yeah, really, really good films there. So yeah, these are just sort of like the standard-y regular films that I own in the collection, and that is the end of the Blu Rays, sort of. There's a little bit coming up, and then it's all DVDs from here on out. So let's move on to this next section. So this is the watch pile, the to watch pile. So this is stuff that I own and haven't yet got around to sitting down and watching properly. And it's here because it's in my eye line. So I'm usually on the sofa over here, and this is right in my eye line, and every time I'm like, what do I watch? I look over here, and it annoys me that these things aren't actually in a proper place. It does my head in, and that's the point. It means that I'm actually going to watch it, because if I just buy stuff and put it on the shelf where it belongs, I'm going to forget that I have it, honestly. So having it in its own separate section does my head in. So what do we have in the to watch pile currently? Well, we have the entire Zatoichi box set from Criterion. It's 25 films in that. I've currently watched 2, so only 23 left to go. Then I got the Chantal Akerman Volume 1 box set. Sight and Sound called her film Gentilman the best film ever made. And I watched it, and it is really good. It's a hard one to recommend, but it is excellent. And it encouraged me to buy this box set. So I have seen Gentilman, but I haven't seen the rest of her films. But yeah, I'm looking forward to delving into it. I just need to find the time where I can dedicate some time to just focusing on one director. I'm kind of doing that with Lars von Trier a little bit at the moment. Again, I'm going through all this stuff, but the time will come when I really want some hard art house, I guess. Got a Bergman film here, So Close to Life. Peter Greenaway film Pillar Book, which I have seen, but I was a teenager and I just wanted the indicator version because I wouldn't mind going through some Greenaway films as well, because I remember really liking his stuff. Got Tess by Roman Polanski, which I'd never seen, based on Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Didn't realise it was 3 hours when I bought it though, so that's going to be interesting. We've got Beau Travail, which is a Claire Denis film, and I really like and really hate some Claire Denis films, so that'll be interesting to look at some point. But yeah, so this is my currently to watch pile. This is what I haven't seen yet, and I know there's things like Shoah and the Lars von Trier and the Bela Tarr box set that I haven't fully gotten through yet, but they're just a little too big to put on this shelf, and I'm well aware because they're huge and they just stick out at me. So lastly for this row, we have music videos, DVD, both DVD and Blu Ray. So this is technically the last little bit of Blu Ray that you're going to get. But this is a little taster for my music taste, I guess. Which there will be a music video as well going through all the vinyls and CDs that I own, because I own fucking loads of music. So what do we have here? We've got the Chris Cunningham, and we've got Rubber Johnny, which is a really fucked up... Basically, it's an Aphex Twin music video, but it is technically a short film by Chris Cunningham with Aphex Twin. Yeah, I really like Aphex Twin. I've got a Warp thing here for the Aphex Twin music videos. Radiohead, big Radiohead fan. This is them live, and Meeting People is Easy, which is just a little short film they made while they were on the road. Heimer, which is Sigur Ros's film. It's just really nice shots of Iceland with beautiful Sigur Rós music. Got some Rammstein. Roy Orbison, I'm a huge Roy Orbison fan, you might have noticed, because I am currently wearing him on my vest. When I'm back in frame, you'll see Roy and his face again. Some Smith, some Bowie. This is an interesting one. So I bought this from a shop called Rare and Racy, which I did a video on. Sounds of Sheffield, and it is basically like experimental, noisy jazz music. They used to do a festival back in the early 2000s for experimental music, and I never got to go, but I did buy the DVD of it, and it's interesting. I do really like experimental jazz. Then we've got Joy Division documentary, Captain Beefheart short film, Frank Zappa, Wu-Tang Clan, more Zappa, some David Byrne and Talking Heads stuff. Got this cool pulp on, Moon Age Daydream. I'm a huge Bowie fan, as I've already said a million times, but this is a nice Moon Age Daydream box set, and then the Beatles Get Back, the whole 8-hour affair of whatever that was. So we've just got the Artificial Eye DVDs that I've had since I was a kid. Stuff like Michael Haneke, you know, Uzak is a really good slow cinema film. Black Cat, White Cat is a really interesting thing. Russian Ark, this one is all done in one take, which is really interesting. And then here we have the Jan Schwankmeyer features, all the way up to Insects, which I had to import from his museum in Czechia, as it's now called. It was Czech Republic back then, but from Czechia. I imported that one, and I imported Faust. So here we have TV shows. Green Wing, a lot of Chris Morris. I love Chris Morris's work, and I know Four Lions technically isn't a TV show, but it's there. It's with the Chris Morris stuff. Garth Marenghi. This is a Takeshi Miike series called Multiple Personality Detective Psycho, MPD Psycho, which is fun. Love Hina, which I bought for the nostalgia reasons. Me and a friend used to watch it when we were like very young teenagers. So I bought it to see if it was any good. It's not. Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead Complete Collection. So then we're moving on. Oh look, a little bit of BFI stuff. Ghost Stories for Christmas. I'm slowly working through these Me and my partner watch 1 or 2 every Christmas, and yeah, I haven't actually watched all these yet. They're just really good, though. The Devils. Everyone wants this to be re-released on Blu Ray and 4K, uncut, as do I, because that is cut, that version. Coffin Joe, and I bought this like a month before Arrow announced that they were doing a big Coffin Joe set, and it's like, well, I've just watched them all. I don't want to watch them again and pay more money for them. Umbilical World. This is David Firth. If you know David Firth, who did Salad Fingers. This is his feature that he did. It's basically just like a compilation of all his animated films with like bookending and stuff. It's really good. It's really cool. Now we've got, this section is the Crispin Glover section. Just some weird things he was in, like Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment, which was in with John Hurt. Bartleby, which is a Herman Melville book. Really fun Crispin Glover film. And Willard, obviously, which my copy is signed, because I did meet Crispin Glover and he signed me my copy of Willard. Love Willard. Simon Says, really, really fun slasher film from the early 2000s with Crispin Glover in it, so obviously I'm a huge fan. And then we move on to, we've got Bubba Hotep and My Name is Bruce. Just 2 Bruce Campbell films. 2 Vincent Gallo films. I'm a fan of Vincent Gallo's films and his acting. I know that he's been a bit controversial recently. I'm ignoring that, and I'm just focusing on the art that he made when he was younger. And yeah, these 2 films are some of my favourites. Swimmer's really good. And then I got this really weird French version of Barfly, and I know that 88 Films have just re-released this on Blu Ray, which I will upgrade at some point. But for now, I just have this weird paper thing. Feston and Districted, some more art housey stuff. Kids by Larry Clark, written by Harmony Korine, next to the Harmony Korine films that I have. Trash Humpers, one of my favourite Harmony Korine films, just behind Gummo. It depends on what day you ask me, really. It's either this or Gummo. I love Trash Humpers, it's great. And then we have Death to Smooch. Then we've got the Gus Van Sant, Death Trilogy, Jerry Elephant and Last Days. I really like them. I can see why people might not. They are very slow, but I like that. And we've got an Eraserhead, of course we do. So that's 3 now, I think. And this is just some more Lynch. I got these 3 from America when I was Actually, I got these 4 from America. When I was a teenager, I went to America on holiday. And I got Eraserhead, short films, Dumbland, and Dynamic One, the best of DavidLynch.com. All for really cheap from America, which was cool. Yeah, Pretty as a Picture, which is just about his art. That was a hard one to find. And a documentary on Jack Nance, I Don't Know Jack, which is fascinating, because I really love Jack Nance. Outside of Lynch's work, Jack Nance has he's got something about him, he's got a charm to him. Then we've got 2 Werner Herzogs at the end there. This one was produced by David Lynch, I believe. And it's got a good cast in it as well. Interesting film. And then this one, Family Romance LLC, is bizarre because it's a Japanese film by Werner Herzog, and it's sort of part documentary, part not. It's a really strange thing. It's cool though. So we've got the Kevin Smith stuff, Clerks, the animated series. I got that from America as well, just because you can't get it over here. And same with Volga, which is made by. It's not Kevin Smith, it's the guy that plays Dante, whose name, Brian O'Halloran, I believe, did that film. Orgasmo, and Freddy Got Fingered. If you want to know what my type of humour is, it's this sort of shit, really. I like it as stupid as it can get, really. Just stupid shit. Got some John Waters, Hairspray and Crybaby. What else we got here? Dead Man's Shoes, Man on the Moon, Control. Now, Adam Chaplin. If you've never seen Adam Chaplin, it's crazy. I might do a video on this actually, because it is just bizarre. Same with Pin, actually. This is a really interesting one about like a doctor's mannequin that some kid talks to. Really weird and creepy. Playhouse, which I was credited in by some guys that I know. Fun film. Then we've got Bad Taste and Brain Dead, Jacob's Ladder, all the Halloween films, all more of the Texas Chainsaw films, all the Grudge films, Shutter, Serbian film, which is cut unfortunately because you can't get it uncut over here, and Wicker Man. More Bowie, Labyrinth, What else have we got that's worth talking about? I bought this because Aphex Twin did the soundtrack to it. It's called Sleep Furiously, and it is just shots of like whales with Aphex Twin music in the background. It's fine, it's not amazing though. The Bridge, which is about people killing themselves on the Golden Gate Bridge in America. Interesting documentary. Yeah, more documentaries, Reefer Madness, Trying for the Will. A lot of these are like stuff I had when I was a student. We've got some martial arts films here. Butterfly and Sword, House of Flying Daggers, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons in this one. Casablanca there, and then we've got more Bergman over there. And then those are more like my partner's stuff. Agnosia, which we didn't really like, but we've kept for nostalgia reasons. King of Pigs is a really good one. It is like a Korean animated film that's pretty fucked up. And then I think in that corner is just some Colin Firth films, because my partner is a big Colin Firth fan. Okay, alright then, so we're on the bottom shelf now, and we are starting with the Tartan collection down here. Then we've got like Claire Denis film, Pasolini, Harmony Korine. Up here, which I keep knocking. This is weird actually. So I have this little like advert book about Tartan. For some reason inside it is a Eddie Izzard comedy. I don't really know why that's there, to be honest. Put that back up there. Man Bites Dog. This needs a Blu Ray release, definitely. Really needs one. So does this actually. This is a really interesting British film. The Great Ecstasy of Robert Carmichael. It's pretty fucked up, really good. Thesis is a really good Spanish film. Really enjoyed it. About snuff films. Mysterious Skin. These are all just sort of classics. They've got the German version of Funny Games. Wisconsin Death Trip. That's a bizarre film. I never really quite figured out what it is. The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, which is an Asia Argento film with Zack and Cody kids in it for some reason. It's and then there's Union City, which I bought because Big Ed from Twin Peaks is in it, and Debbie Harry's in it as well, and it's really bad. It's like a really bad film. Moving over here, we can see more of the Tartan films. So we've got some Gus Van Sant, Malinoche, and Paranoid Park. Proposition, I've been meaning to upgrade because BFI put out a really cool 4K of it. I'm a Cyborg by Park Chan-wook, really good film. Got some samurai films there, got some Kim Ki-duk, quite a bit of Kim Ki-duk actually, quite like his work. Coffee and Cigarettes, that needs a Blu Ray release. I know they've been doing a lot of Jim Jarmusch films, Criterion, but that needs a release. Taxidermia is disgusting. Party Monster is really fun with Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green in it. It's a really fun film. What else have we got? Belleville Rendezvous, or Triplets of Belleville, depending on which version you get. That's a really fun animated film. And then I have this Tartan trailer thing, which comes with Bangkok Dangerous. That's a fun little piece of history there. This one's interesting as well. It's The Phantom Carriage, a silent movie, and then it comes with a Bergman film, which he made about the people who were making The Phantom Carriage. Just an interesting little thing. More Tartan. I have a lot of Tartan. We're into the Tartan Asia now. We're out of Tartan video and into Tartan Asia, where we have Three Extremes 1 and 2, Phone, which I remember being pretty bad. A lot of these are quite bad. Although Save the Screen Planet is really good. That's a really fun Korean movie and well worth watching. But then Spider Forest is a really bad Korean movie and not worth watching at all. As is The Wig. It's a terrible, terrible film. Our Point is pretty good. War ghost story thing. Then we've got the Whispering Corridor, Memento Mori and Vanishing Stairs trilogy. I think there's a fourth one, which I don't own because I think it only comes in a box set, which is annoying. Into the Mirror. I don't even remember that film at all, to be honest. A lot of these I just own because I like Asian horror films, but most of them aren't actually worth watching. One Night in Mongkok, I think is awful. I think it's really bad. So we've got Dumplings, which I believe is Chinese, and that's a really fun, fucked up film. Perth is rubbish. It's just about a guy who really, really wants to go to Perth. Some more Tsukamoto with Vital. I need to upgrade that. The upgrade has come out. Got some Takeshi Miike here as well. Visitor Q really needs a Blu-ray, as does Gozu. Those are two of my favourite Takeshi Miike films, and they're just stuck on Tartan DVD, unfortunately. What else have we got? Premonition is really good. There's a really fucked up doll in it, I think. I think that's Premonition. Oh no, I'm thinking of Reincarnation. That's got a really fucked up doll in it, and it's really fun. And that makes a little J on the spine, which is pretty shit. It doesn't really do much, does it? The Eye trilogy, this is when they got bought out by Palisades, and it just looks lazy compared to the others, unfortunately. And then we're moving on to some Tartan Terror here. We've got Return of the Living Dead. I missed out on the Blu Ray, the second sight Blu Ray of that, and it's now very expensive. But if they do a 4K, I'll probably grab it. Some Argento, Phantom of the Opera. Well, probably one of his weaker ones, that one, to be honest. Nothing to do with opera that he did as well. And then the last little bit of Tartan, we have The Ordeal, which is a really good French horror film. I'd love an upgrade of that. Pumpkinhead. I need to get Pumpkinhead 2 at some point. And Last Horror Movie, which is just an interesting found footage, millennium trash-esque sort of thing. Oh, I just cut off the end there. Let's move that. There we go. So now we've got some awful horror films. We've got Dummy, Ghoulies 1 and 2, which I only own because Jack Nance is in the second one. Grim Weekend is probably one of the most boring, stupid films I own, but it's fun for movie nights. And also like the name Grim Weekend, it sounds funny. Plan 9, Septic Man is pretty fucked up and stupid, but fun. Final Scream is just, look at that. Look at that. That's just a fucking rip-off, isn't it? It's so stupid looking. Just like, how does that come into existence? You could say the same for Granny. Look at that. It looks terrible, doesn't it? It's so stupid as well. I got this cut version of Evil Speak, which people seem to think was released by Hardcore, but it isn't. It's a Prism release. And then I've got some Asian films here again. King of Masks, which is just this sort of like heartwarming, heartbreaking film. What's he called? Koreeda, a film about a sex doll that comes to life, which has actually got more heart to it than you'd expect it to. Isha the Killer and Isha the Killer's animated counterpart, which are, again, this needs a Blu Ray release really badly. Well, the Journey of the Angels, it's the same story as The Devils, about the nuns that decide to lay down. 4. Now, no one ever talks about 4, so I'm going to talk about 4. So this is a Russian film, and it's 4 stories. People in a bar just telling 4 stories. And yeah, you've never seen so many naked old women eating boiled eggs before and spitting bread to make dolls. It's fucking disgusting, but there's something fascinating about it. Fascinating. Oh, and I do own another Tarantino film. I did lie. I have Death Proof on DVD, which a mate gave me recently, actually. So now we're moving on to nearly the last bit of this unit. Just bear with me while I just adjust this. There we go, nice. So, here we start with awful sequels. We have Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2, we have S. Darko, and we have American Psycho 2. All absolutely terrible, terrible sequels, but they're all fascinating in their own little way. Big, which came into the post instead of a hardcore film that I ordered, so I just have a copy of Big now. Zoolander, I got drunk one night and woke up with this in the flat. Don't know where the fuck it came from, but I now own a copy of Zoolander as well. Rocky Horror Picture Show and Shop Treatment box set. Got Pie and Requiem for a Dream. We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, which is like, it's so close to being bootleg, but it isn't. It's weird. We're in the animated bit now, so animated DVD, Secret and Nim. I need to upgrade that to the Eureka version. Swan Princess is one of my partner's like childhood films. South Park, the movie, classic. Mary and Max is great, and the Memoirs of a Snail, the new one, is really good as well. Secret of Tom Thumb is really fun. Stop motion, pixelation, really, really good. Really impressive stuff. The Adventures of Pinocchio is not as good as you'd like, but it's still fun. Then we've got the original Bad Lieutenant here. That's his name, Abel Ferreira. I forgot it earlier. Abel Ferreira. Ed Wood, classic. 101 Reykjavik. I don't really remember that. I think the soundtrack is Damon Albarn. But yeah, we got that. And then some more classics. Princess Bride. And moving over to here, we have Man in the Iron Mask, classic. Rom-com, P.S. I Love You, Rebecca, classic. These again are more my partner's films. Anna and the King, Oliver, sealed. And then we've got a friend who lives in China, and she brought us back some Chinese animated films recently, which we've not had a look at yet. Oh, and then we've got some exercise DVDs in the corner over there as well, yoga and Pilates, I believe. So that's the big unit, but we're not quite done yet because the house still holds more films. We've got big things like this Kubrick set is huge, and it contains nearly all his films. It doesn't have like Paths of Glory and Spartacus and stuff like that, unfortunately, but it has, you know, the ones that you think of when you think of Kubrick. We've got the Wong Kar-wai set, which is massive as well. It just doesn't quite fit on the shelf, like the main shelf properly. The Criterion set of that as well. It's so nice, this set, really nice. Then we've got the big old Tartan Bergman collection, which is where I watched pretty much all Bergman's films. It has a lot of his films in it. And yeah, it's a fantastic set. I got it really cheap as well. And for DVD, the quality's there. By the way, this isn't a VHS, this is the Jigsaw of the Breakfast Club. I got it at a car boot recently, and it's just chucked there for now. Okay, so now moving on to these other box sets, we have some more Tartan, Tracy Emin, which is awful, that film, Top Spot, it's so angsty and shit. Then we've got Paul Morrissey and Andy Warhol, Flesh, Trash and Heat, which has got Joe D'Alessandro in it, really good films, really of the time. We've got some Truffaut, some Haneke, we've got some, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Haneke right, but that's how I've been saying it anyway. Got some Jodorowsky, got some Marx Brothers here, Jeff Keane, who's very experimental, if you don't know him. It's almost like stuff you'd see in a gallery, super experimental stuff. Jan Schwankmeyer Complete Shorts, really, really good, worth having. All the Tarkovsky features, I am trying to upgrade those to Blu Ray. They've not fully put all of them out on Criterion yet. I'm hoping they do all of them Criterion, like Andrei Rublev I know has a US Criterion release. I'm hoping they come here, because they are really cool. And Caligula, I've heard there's a new cut of that come out. That's just the DVD Imperial Edition, which is the longest cut that was currently out at the point that that came out, I guess. But there's a newer one. So yeah, there's some, and if I just lower this quickly, there's some more. Because we're never quite finished here, are we? We have the Evil Dead Book of the Dead. That's my second version of that. I bought one on a market for like £2 and it just disintegrated. But this one seems to have held tight, which is pretty good. I've got a Czech film called Pusinki, whatever that is. Comes in this like weird cardboard sleeve. It was a gift from my partner. It's like a coming of age drama, I think. It's pretty good. It's a bit Lucas Moodysson. Koenigsgasse and Pausgasse, Men Behind the Sun. Now this looks like you shouldn't own it. I don't actually know where I got this, but look at that. It looks like something you shouldn't own. And I mean, they're pretty fucked up films, so you probably shouldn't own them. Werner Herzog collection, and I know I own most of these on Blu Ray, but that Blu Ray box set doesn't come with Even Dwarves Started Small and My Best Fiend, which are two of my favourites from these sets, so I'm just keeping the sets, just in case. And then got some TV shows, Frasier and Seinfeld, classics, you know, for if I want to unwind after watching Men Behind the Sun. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, why the hell are we down here, and what the hell is this? Well, to start off with, I have some Laserdiscs that I thought we'd have a look at. So, I've got Lawnmower Man, which is sealed, I think? Oh no, it's not quite sealed. Just moving this back. Lawnmower Man. And Badlands, which funnily enough, this is a Tartan film, this Laserdisc. Got Badlands and Deer Hunter. Now, for those who have never seen a Laserdisc before, let me get one out for you. So they are analog, they're not digital, they're analog, and they look like huge, you can see me recording, hello. They look like huge DVD, like record-sized DVDs, and you have to flip them. Half the film is on one side, half the film's on the other. They are super brittle and smash easily. And I don't actually have a player. There is one more Laserdisc knocking about, but we'll get to that one when we get to that. But there you go. I have some Laserdiscs. And also, when I am selling a film, I chuck them down here. So you could probably see a few there that I've upgraded over the years. Woo! Or just films that I'm not interested in anymore. Like Trouble Every Day is getting a re-release. Dance from the Dark's getting a Blu Ray. You know, a lot of these I'm not fussed about. I got the inside Blu Ray. And I just sort of chuck them down here. And eventually I'll accumulate a pile and they'll all end up in CEX. Okay, so very quickly, as we go upstairs in the house, I do have another Eraserhead, and this is a Laserdisc, a Japanese Laserdisc of Eraserhead, which I've framed because it's really nice artwork as well. You can see me there I am. Okay, I'm sure this looks very familiar to people who watch my channel. This is in the office. This is my unit for films that I'm talking about and reviewing, because it's easier for me to grab them and it gets them out of the way a little bit. So up in the office, I'm just going to lower this just so it's easier. We have the Hardcore Collection on here, which I'm about to start filming more of. Then we've got the Vipco Scream Time, go down, and there's a few more Vipcos just down in that bottom corner there. Sorry, the cable came into shot there. Then we have Dead of Night and Dripping Blood as well. So yeah, this is the unit that is up in the office that keeps dipping out of focus. There we go. And it also houses some CDs on top of it as well. You'll have seen this a lot in the hardcore reviews if that's something that you watch. And then if we bring the camera up here, we have, oh my god, I can't quite reach it. There we go. VHS. So we got South Park back when there used to be volumes. It was volume 4 to 6. We got Going Down to South Park, a little documentary. I remember getting from a car boot when I was a kid. Executions. We've got a Jean-Luc Godard film there. Eraserhead again. There's another one. Night of the Living Dead 2001. Cul-de-sac. Fitzcarraldo. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. The Thing, The Crow, Chasing Amy up there, look. Got a weird PlayStation promotional VHS, which is just like a little advert. Derek Jarman Projections, some Bowie, Aphex Twins, Come to Daddy, and then some big boxes. We've got Blaze and Dancer in the Dark, and ending it off with the Spice World movie. We also have a few films up here as well. These are ones that I just couldn't really bring myself to get rid of, even though I already have other copies of them. I've got the Key Brothers box set there. Twin Peaks, Fire With Me and Lost Highway. I just really like those releases. They've got loads of special features and they're quite sentimental. Same with the Gummo release. That is the one I had as a kid, basically. So yeah, it's just a bit sentimental to me. And I've just chucked them up here because it's not like they're worth a lot either or anything like that. It's not like I'm going to get loads of money for them, so I just keep hold of them. So I have Battleship Potemkin on 8mm. These are all 8mm, by the way. I have Battleship Potemkin, I have Belphegor, I have a Mickey Mouse thing, and then inside this drawer, inside there is a Charlie Chaplin film. There's a Chaplin film. I have projectors dotted about the house, some working, some not. Then I have this from Pyramid, which is a little nudie film about a girl who ghosts come into a house and undress her. And I can't remember what that one is. I think that's just it might be another Chaplin actually. But yeah, in fact this Belphegor is actually 9.5mm, whereas things like Battleship Potemkin are 8mm. I don't have a lot. But I have a small collection that I've sort of accrued over the years. And then lastly, before we are done here, just this little station in my office, which houses a lot of blanks, basically. I've got blank cassettes, because I've started doing cassettes, blank CDs, blank Blu Rays, DVDs, mini CDs. Been a bit obsessed with mini CDs recently. And just to wrap this off, I have a few copies of my short film It's All Wrong on DVD and Blu Ray, which are available to purchase. So there we have it then. That is my film collection as it stands at the moment. It varies from a lot of different mediums and things like that. I apologise if the camera work wasn't up to scratch. It's difficult to juggle a camera and discuss things and changing tripods to get it to the right level and things like that. But I hope that it'll give you a nice little overview of the sort of films that I'm into, the sort of things that I collect, what I'm interested in, and what I deem worthy of having in the collection. I'd be fascinated to hear what you guys think. Does my collection line up with yours? Do my tastes line up with yours? Do I have some things that you can't stand that I said I really like? Where do you lie on what I collect, and how different is it to what you collect? Also, recommendations. If there's anything you think, oh, well, he needs to grab this, if he likes this and this, he needs to get on this, then please do let me know, because I'm always looking for new recommendations and new things to add to the collection. As I say, this is it's almost like an organic being, this collection. It's constantly shrinking and growing. I get a joy from selling things just as much as I do from buying things sometimes. And sometimes just clearing that extra little bit of space from your collection, it feels good, you know. I've had way more than this in the past, I've had way less than this in the past, and it will always be constantly shifting in and out, you know. It's the idea of curate, not accumulate, in my eyes anyway. So before we go as well, I do want to say a massive thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. It's an amazing thing and it really does mean a lot. I can't believe there's 1,000 of you out there that want to listen to my opinions on things. But thank you so much for subscribing. Share me among your mates and that. Let's keep growing the channel. It really does help things, you know, in order to get new films to discuss and things like that, to keep the collection growing. It does help. But yeah, thank you so much for the 1,000. I hope this video has lived up to celebrating 1,000 subs. There will also be a music collection video and a game collection video, and they'll be going out exclusively to Patreon. So if you are interested in that and you want to become a patron and help support my channel in that way, then please do. There'll be a link right here. I'll put it in this little bit here, right there, and you can go follow that and help support me. Any tier will get you the other videos, the other collection videos. So, one last big thank you to all of you. Thank you for watching the channel. More stuff, more exciting stuff to come in the very near future. Thank you for watching.